TCU wide receiver Jack Bech is one of the most underrated prospects in all of the 2024 NFL Draft. This is a guy that had a great week a great Senior Bowl week down in Mobile. Not only did he dominate all of the practice one-on-ones and
I wish they didn't always do like the full circle around.
Yeah, right.
all the practices, he also dominated the game, won Senior Bowl MVP. He measured in at a whopping 6'2", 215 down in Mobile. Great measurements, came in solid, compact. He's got a sturdy frame. He's really, if you look at him, he's built like a tight end, and he doesn't necessarily move like one. This is a guy, he carries his weight really well. He's a powerful runner. He looks the part. A little bit of a limited athlete, but does pretty much everything else well. He's got a smart, savvy route runner. He's polished. He's developed. Doesn't get quite enough credit for how good of a route runner he is, in my opinion. I think this is a guy that's got a lot of veteran attributes. Smart player, has a lot of spatial awareness. He knows how to read zones, where to sit in zones, how to find the holes, find the windows. Knows how to read defenses. He has no issues beating press as well. That's another part of his route running that doesn't get talked about as much. For a guy his size, got great body control, knows exactly where he is, knows how to use his compact, sturdy frame to box guys out and put himself in positions to succeed at the catch point, which is really where he makes his money. Great, solid, strong hands. He's an awesome jump ball receiver, as we saw at the Senior Bowl. This is a guy, he just really, really underrated player. He's going to carve out a great role in NFL offense. He's a great blocker as well. He's going to get on the field early, can be a deep threat when he needs to. This is a guy that's really underrated, and I think you should be looking at him as a sleeper in a lot of your dynasty drafts coming up in this offseason. To like about Jack Bech on film, he was also a pretty productive receiver in a not great TCU offense. This is a TCU offense that struggled a lot in the past game with some pretty poor quarterback play. So Bech was not only able to produce in a bad system, he also put a lot of great traits on film that I think is really going to translate to the next level. In 2024, he put up 62 receptions for 1,034 yards and 9 touchdowns. So being a 1,000-yard receiver, along with sharing time with other great NFL prospects, Savion Williams alongside of him, with pretty subpar quarterback play and a tough offense to play in. So I think he's pretty productive. He looks the part. There's a lot to like about Jack Bech. And down in Mobile, and some of my teammates here at FTR, Steve and Joe from the other videos, I'm sure you'll recognize them. Actually, we're lucky enough to grab Jack Bech after some of the practices and get to interview him, so let's jump right into those.
Is there one NFL player that you mold your game after or you study?
Yeah, I study a lot of different players, but I would say if you're asking for a comp, it would be a guy more like Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, just somebody that really knows the nuances of the game, that can read zone, read man looks, can see rock and roll safeties, all the different types of leverages.
What do you think the most underrated part of your game is?
My speed, I have race like game speed. I would rather have great speed on the field than just straight lines. So I'm blessed.
Awesome. And last question: what was your favorite moment from day 2?
I think my favorite moment from day 2 was catching that slot fade up the sideline right here.
You had a really strong week of practice. What do you think stood out to scouts the most this week in Mobile?
Yeah, I just think it was like my ability to be able to be physical, to just come out here in the run game, put my paws on people, separate one-on-ones and different passing situations by using my body and different leverages.
You're obviously really intense during these practices. How do you think that's going to translate to being a leader in a locker room in the NFL?
Yeah, I like leading by example. I think it speaks volumes, just the way people see you work, how they see you always at the facility, always trying to sharpen your sword. That's the guy I want to be. I want to go in and I want to change. Not change, but I want to be a part of, go help set a great culture wherever I'm at and whatever organization has me.
Do you have a favorite moment from this week? Obviously, it was a really fun week in Mobile for the first couple days of practice.
Yeah. I would say probably the catch from Jaden down the sideline yesterday, or the touchdown he threw me today. Me and Jaden really created the chemistry this week, so it's been a lot of fun.
Well, that being said, without further ado, let's get into the film. This cut up on the first game against Oklahoma State. Only have one clip from this game, not a ton to go off of, but starting off with a bang. This first clip is really, really nice. Showing off that contested catchability I was talking about. He's going to be on the bottom right here on this little outside fade. He's going to do a really nice job setting up on the stem on this outside or the inside fake on this corner. Usually he sets up that stem on the release, first step to the inside, and then cuts back out to set up this route. And the corner, actually, this is a good release by Bech. I think he does a great job here. But it's even better job by the corner to stay square, keep his hips, doesn't commit too early on the route. So he actually doesn't separate very well on this route. The corner was really great in coverage. Stays with him stride for stride. Again, Bech, kind of a limited athlete. He's not going to vertically separate a lot, especially against boundary corners. He's not a guy that's going to have, blazing speed and win over the top that way necessarily. But this is where he flashes right here, is at the catch point. And I'll get it on the tight copy so you get a little bit better view of this. But look, the way he flashes at the catch point, the way he uses his body for a guy that's 6'1", not a massive frame, but he's very compact. He carries the weight really well. Like you see right here, he's just masterful at using that frame to set himself up for success at the catch point. Look at this. This freeze frame is just unreal. This DB, again, textbook rep by the DB. He did almost everything right. There's nothing really he could do more here. It's just Bech being that good. His arm is through Bech's catch frame in front of his face mask, and Bech is reaching around him to still come down with that ball. Gets 2 feet in, that masterful body control. Always knows exactly where he is, where the sideline is. Knows how to keep all of his body in bounds. And look at that. Just a masterful job at the catch point right there. What a rep from Bech. Just the contested catch ability is really, really, really amazing. And heading straight to the SMU game here, Bech is going to be at the top of the screen right here, and he's going to be on what I would believe is just a little stop route. He actually ends up cutting this inside a little bit, but I think this is an example of that spatial awareness against zone that I'd kind of highlighted from him earlier. Incredibly smart football player. He understands how to read a defense. That's why somebody like he works so well in like Sean McVay's offense. The Rams are an interesting fit for him, in my opinion, because I think he's such a smart guy. He can line up anywhere, inside, outside, in the slot. I think he could be used as an H-back, almost tight end in a lot of spaces, with how big of a body he is. But like I said, he can read a defense. He knows exactly where to be and where the defense isn't, like you're going to see on this play. Because you actually have Savion Williams down here at the bottom coming on a dig. And there's going to be some conflict here because the routes are a little bit close together. But even with that, you'll see him on that break right here. And he kind of drifts inside because he reads this corner. He understands that they're in zone. And he kind of drifts inside to create that space and finds that open space in the middle of the field where the defense isn't. Like I said, he just has a nose for where the windows are in between zone. And the few knocks you have on him, main thing is the athleticism. And I think kind of a subcategory of that is he has issues on stop routes like this one. And it's only 10 yards, so it's not quite as exaggerated on this rep, maybe. But you're going to see how he kind of skids to a stop. He has a little bit of a hard time breaking down his hips and stopping on routes. It takes him a little while to kind of break that momentum down. A couple of steps, a little bit too choppy for my liking. Lets this corner, gives him a window to break down on it. He knows how to use his frame and box out and has strong hands, so it kind of mitigates some of those problems. But you would just like to see him be able to move a little bit better, maybe. But it hasn't. I don't think it hinders him too much. But it is something to keep a watch on you if you have him on deep comeback routes or whatever. Maybe not the the guy to run those because the limited athleticism, he just kind of starts to skid when you want him to slow down right there. But still a really nice rep, really smart player. And this rep is going to be a perfect example of one of my favorite parts of Bech's game. For me, when I grade a receiver, one of the heaviest weighted things on my grading scale is the ability to beat press, to be able to win at the line of scrimmage. I think that's something that's crucial to success at the next level. I think it's something every receiver needs to be able to do. If you have any chance of playing on the outside, it can kind of be hidden for guys that are going to play in the slot or whatever that may be. But I think it's something that's really important to me personally as an evaluator. This is a textbook rep from Bech. That's something he has no issues with. He does not struggle with press at all. Such a strong guy, knows how to use his hands, like you'll see on this rep. He's just going to be on a little skinny post. And again, this DB does everything well on this rep. This is a well-timed punch. It's just even better from Bech on how to use this hand fighting. So you're going to see it's an outside release, and there's that punch, and Bech just swipes it down. It's so fast you almost don't even notice it. But he does such a great job with his hands. He's so strong during stems, especially at the top of stems, like you'll see in a play in the UCF cut up later in this video. But Bech, he's so strong with that. Creates a good cushion right there just off winning with that swipe. Gets his hands up so quick and gets the DB's hands down. Gets him off balance. Creates a lot of separation there. And here you're going to see the after the catch ability. I mean, he's just so hard to bring down. Built like a tight end. Uses that weight so well after the catch. He's strong. Got good contact balance. This is a guy that's so flexible. He can be able to add so many layers to an NFL offense. He's just such a versatile player. A lot of things to like about him. And this play is not so much anything that Bech did on tape really to flash in here. It's just an explosive play that went to him, so I felt the need to throw it in here. But you're going to see a flea flicker here, actually. And this entire SMU defense is just caught sitting on their heels watching. I mean, he just squeezes right past everybody. They're just all completely on their heels. You do see some nice awareness. Like I said, he always knows where he is and where the sideline is. Has that long speed to outrun that whole secondary. But yeah, not anything super translatable in that rep, but an explosive play to him. I wanted to throw that in there. And this is actually one of my favorite plays in this whole cut up. I think this is where Bech really shows how polished and developed he is as a route runner, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. I think pretty often he gets labeled as this big body power slot receiver, and people don't really give him his flowers as a separator. When I think he's a lot better than he gets credit for. I think he's a developed route runner. He understands the nuances and leverages. I know said he used head fakes are the main thing, like you're going to see on this rep. That's the thing that not a lot of guys have at the college level or have developed in their bag. And Bech knows how to use it at a pretty high level. And you're going to see just a pretty simple fly route right here. It's not even a double move. Bech just knows how to incorporate this stutter and this head fake right here. Like you're going to see, he really manipulates this DB in man coverage at a really high level. There's that stutter. Gets this DB to fully bail out of his coverage and break on this, and just flies right by him. That's a really developed, and I have the tight angle. You're going to see this flash at the catch point too that I'm talking about, that body control. Just an incredible job at the catch point. And with that stutter, like I said, that head fake, that's an advanced move. That's something that a lot of young guys don't have. And then it's a terrible ball, by the way, super underthrown. So Bech, who's already created probably 8 yards of separation, has to come back and let the DB back into the play. But you'll see that body control, that freeze frame right there. Look at this. Both those heels getting in balance before he hits the ground. An underthrown ball, that's a really impressive job at the catch point. I think this guy's just going to be able to play just about any role you need him to at the NFL level. And on this next play, this is one of the best examples I can find of that strength and that contact balance after the catch that I've been preaching. This guy, he runs just behind his pads, low as a runner, just really translates that sturdy compact frame and that strength really well into his yak ability. You're going to have a little rub route right here. This inside slot guy is going to be on a little C route, and Bech is just going to be on a drag. He's going to create some separation on this line of scrimmage with that little rub concept, and that's going to give Bech some area to work with here. And you'll see after this catch just the power he has as a runner. Runs through 1, 2, 3, drags 3 guys into the end zone. Runs through arm tackles like they're not even there. Just a guy you don't expect to have that much upside after the catch, but I think that's a really under the radar part of his game and something that's going to free up a lot of opportunities for him. And here, jumping into our first game from the UCF tape. This is another example of that spatial awareness against zone, that football IQ that I mentioned early in this video. You're going to see him as a slot man. He's going to motion out and run a little post right here. You're going to have a seam streak from number 7, and then a little flat from this tight end. Nice concept. I like it. It creates some stress from this cover 3 look from UCF. And you're going to see Bech is going to read what this linebacker does. The concept does its job. This clear out streak gets safety out of the picture. But this linebacker does a good job staying home in coverage, and you're going to see Bech notice that. And you're going to see he comes in kind of flat off this, which is what the post is designed to do. I imagine. I'm not in the meetings, I can't know for sure. But it looks like that's the angle he's supposed to take. But he notices that linebacker staying home, and he deepens that post right on the break. That's like I said, this is stuff it takes guys a long time to pick up on this. This is something that veterans, you look for in veterans, not guys that are just now coming into the league. Bech is a really smart guy. You see he folds this post up. Good job layering the ball from the QB over that linebacker. Finds that spot in the zone. Reminds me a lot of Travis Kelce's ability to just know exactly where the guys aren't and find those windows in zone. Usually it's an attribute of former quarterbacks that switch to receiver or tight end or whatever it may be. And to my knowledge, that's not Bech's background, which almost makes it more impressive. But just a really smart football player. And here on this next play, you're going to see another example of Bech being a deep threat. And for a guy that gets labeled as this limited athlete, which he is, I'm not saying that's really a false narrative or anything. But for a guy who is a limited athlete, there's a lot on tape of him being an explosive deep threat for TCU. And then this play, it's him in the slot right here. You're just going to have him on a little post route. And again, kind of that advanced nuance and savviness to his route running that he doesn't get credit for a lot of times. You're going to see another one of those head fakes that I mentioned earlier right here. That one outside little rocker step and that head fake. Safety completely flips his hips based off of that. And then Bech is carrying all of his momentum through that. He's in a super advantageous position right here. Got the long speed to outrun that DB. And a great catch right there. And I've got the tight copy. You can see the ball tracking ability that I mentioned. Just elite all the way through, elite focus. Great job to stay up there. An explosive guy. As well as he operates in the short and intermediate game. He can also be a deep threat when he needs to when the offense calls for it. And here, getting down to our last couple plays of this cut up. This is another great showcase of that play strength from Bech that I was talking about. The ability he has to hand fight with these DBs at the beginning of stems or at the top of the stem, like you're going to see on this play. The amount of creation he can separate with that play strength, just the pure physical advantage he has over these DBs. It's kind of like, on Thanksgiving, like an uncle playing with small kids at the Turkey Bowl. The guy's just he's so much stronger than all these DBs he's going against. It's like he kind of just throws them around like rag dolls. Like this play, he's going to be on a little really exaggerated out route right here because they're going to run a boot. And this going to be a little bit of a rub concept, so he doesn't necessarily have to worry about the press. But you're going to see corner gets a little handsy at the top of the route right here, and just Bech, his ability to fight him off right here. One little jab to the outside shoulder when the corner tries to get grabby at the top of the stem, and Bech just completely throws him off base, creates a ton of separation there at the top of the route, and finishes with strong hands. The physicality is just imposing from him at the top of these routes. And here on this second to last play, you're going to see another example of him getting pressed, and the ability he has. He just really doesn't struggle at all with press. He's so physical at the line of scrimmage, has good footwork. I think that's going to translate to the next level. He's going to be able to play on the outside if an offense asks him to. Just right there, another corner grabbing the inside shoulder gets his. These corners, these aren't bad press reps from these DBs. Their punches are on time. They're in the right spots. It's just Bech is strong enough to where it doesn't really phase him off the line of scrimmage. Wins inside. Doesn't really have a ton of separation either, but you're going to see the focus, the catch point. This is a tough catch right here. This corner is in his frame. The DB has done his job. He's in the catch radius, making it hard, but the focus, the ball tracking, and the strong hands from Bech, just a great job to come down with that and great job to beat the press. And here in this last play, you're actually going to see Bech in the slot down here at the bottom of the screen. Just on a pretty simple seam streak. He's actually going to get a free release against this kind of soft cover 3 look from UCF. You're going to see that yak ability I mentioned earlier really get a flash right here. Makes the first guy miss right here. Really elusive as well as a strong runner. You're going to see him kind of run through this crowd right here. Never really goes down. Just such a strong runner. As well as being kind of elusive in the open field. For a guy that's maybe not the fastest straight line speed or the fastest accelerator. Still just a guy that can create after the catch, as well as being a savvy route runner, strong build, strong hands, just kind of the complete package as a receiver. I think Bech can provide just so many layers to an NFL offense. I think he's going to be a really valuable addition to somebody. All right, and that about does it for all the Jack Bech film we're going to break down today. This guy's a super underrated prospect, a real sleeper in dynasty drafts. I think he's going to carve out a really, really significant role regardless of where he gets drafted, regardless of the landing spot. This is a guy that you should be looking at in the second and third rounds of your dynasty drafts. He can provide a lot of value there. And yeah, that about does it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more breakdowns from me specifically, check me out at Iron City Film on X or Twitter. And I will see you guys in the next one.